Do I have your attention? 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 Do I have your attention?
Is you taking notes?
Alrighty guys, so what we have here are 2 green bell peppers that I'm going to be breaking down. They've already been pre-washed, and I'm going to break these down into a small mince. Now, if you are not a fan of green bell pepper, by all means, you don't have to use them. You can use sweet peppers, whatever type of peppers you like. That is completely up to you. What we're going to end up with is about 1.5 cups worth. Now, that might seem like a lot, but I am making a very large batch of chili. But once again, you can adjust however much you would like to use based on your liking. So I also have 1 medium-sized sweet onion. Now, I'm the one that's not keen on a lot of onion, so I'm actually going to be only using 1 cup in this recipe. And I also broke that down into a mince as well. So the next thing we're going to work on is our garlic. Now, I have about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic. They were very, very tiny, honey, as you can see. But I would definitely suggest using fresh garlic. Y'all know how I feel about that pre-minced stuff. I just think it leaves a weird taste in your food. So I would definitely suggest take the time and go ahead and use yourself some fresh garlic. So you want to go ahead and get your pan ready. Have it on about a medium high. I've added about 1/4 cup of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to go on ahead and saute off our vegetables. Now, the only thing you don't want to do right now is to add in the garlic. Add in the onion and go ahead and add in your green pepper. Once your green pepper and your onion have started to sweat down, then it's okay to go ahead and add in your garlic. The reason why I do that is just because once garlic burns, it can kind of ruin everything because it makes everything taste a bit bitter. So I like to do it at the last second. But you can add in as much garlic as you would like. That is completely up to you. Now for this recipe, because this is a large recipe that I'm making, or a batch of chili, I should say, I'm using almost about 3 pounds of ground beef, you guys. This was 2.82 pounds. And I'm also adding in 5 spicy Italian sausages to this mix as well. Now, if you are not a ground beef person, you can use ground chicken, you can use ground turkey. That is completely up to you. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand that if you're not going to use as much of whatever meat that you choose to cook with, you want to make sure that you're going to be adjusting the seasonings that I'm going to be telling you a little bit later on, because you just don't want your stuff to be salty, or you don't want it to be overpowered by certain spices. So just be mindful that if you're going to do it the way I'm doing it right now, make sure that you have almost about 3 pounds of ground beef or whatever type of meat and the Italian sausage. Our seasonings are 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1/2 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/2 tablespoon of black pepper, and we're going to use 2 tablespoons of Lawry's seasonal salt. We're going to give this a mixing first just to make sure that we get all of this nicely incorporated. Now, right now I have my temperature on about a medium high. Now, this ground beef doesn't have that much fat in it, so you won't really have to worry about trimming off too much excess oil. If you do have one that has a higher content of oil, don't drain the meat out from the pan. Just let the oil rise to the top and skim it off at the end. So now we're going to go ahead and add in our 6 tablespoons of our chili powder. Now, I would definitely suggest find yourself a nice high quality chili powder. That does make a pretty big difference in my opinion. But as you can see, as of right now, we really haven't added in much of anything that would kind of make this spicy, or at least in my opinion. The chili powder to me doesn't make it spicy at all. We'll talk about the heat factor later on, but let's go over a few other things first. So we're going to be using 2 16-ounce cans of light red kidney beans that have been thoroughly rinsed off. Don't forget that. You're going to use only 1 packet of the Lipton's Beefy Onion Soup Mix. We're going to be using about 1 tablespoon of Hershey's Cacao unsweetened powder, okay? The key is unsweetened. It's going to leave a pungent flavor. You don't want to miss that step. We're also going to be using our Better Than Bouillon roasted beef base. Now, if you don't want to use this, you can use regular beef broth. That's completely fine. We're also going to be using this full can of the Modelo's beer, or whatever type of dark beer you like. That's completely up to you. And we're going to be using the full 28-ounce can of our tomato puree. Now, as I said before, we're going to be adding in just 1 package of the Lipton soup mix. And then we're going to add in our 1 tablespoon of our Better Than Bouillon beef base. Now, if you can't find that, you don't have to use it. You can use regular beef broth, like I said. Now, I'm kind of trying to build in all of the flavors, so that's why I'm mixing in those two things first. That paste sticking to some of the meat is really going to make a big difference, so keep that in mind. And as you can see, I really broke down my meat because I don't like the big chunks in mine. Now, I'm also going to be adding in about a half a tablespoon of the chocolate powder. I didn't want to do a full tablespoon. I only did a half because I didn't think it needed as much. If you want, you can use a full tablespoon. That's completely fine. Because it's unsweetened, you don't have to worry about that. But that cacao bean really does bring a lot of flavor to your chili. I'm telling you, it really does make a big difference. And we're going to add in our full can of our tomato puree. Now, if you are a big tomato lover, you can also add in some concentrated tomato paste as well. And I've added in about a half a cup of water. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking this is a lot of liquid and we still have that beer to add, but I like my chili to almost melt in my mouth. So I cook my chili for a long time at a low temperature and let the liquid reduce on its own time. So it's not going to be running like this in the end result. Just trust me on that. I promise you it won't be. So once you got that all nicely mixed together, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in our beans. And like I said, I used 2 full 16-ounce cans of light red kidney beans that I made sure that I thoroughly rinsed off under cold water. Never take your beans directly from the can and put it into your dish. I promise you, you will not be happy. Now, I'm not a big bean person, so that's why I use the light red, but you can add whatever type of beans you want, and you can add a variety of beans. That's completely fine. And we're going to go ahead and add in our 1 full 12-ounce can of our beer. You can use a dark beer. That's completely fine. This is just what I had on hand, and it works completely fine. A Guinness also works absolutely fabulous. So that's also a good choice to use for this chili. Now, what you want to do is, you guys, you want to put the top on this, have it at a low temperature, and you're going to cook it for about an hour and a half. At the hour and a half mark, you're going to go ahead and taste it for salt. You shouldn't need it. And then you're also going to taste it for spice. I'm adding in my crushed red pepper flakes. That's where the spice comes in for me. You're going to put the top back on it. Make sure you're leaving a crack. Make sure you're continuously stirring it every, 15 minutes to make sure it's not burning. And the liquid is going to completely reduce. And as you can see, if you look at the inside of my pan, the rim of the pan, you can see where the liquid once was and how it's dropped down. So now you have this nice, hearty, thick, rich chili. This is about the consistency that I like. I don't like mine too dry, but I also don't like mine too soupy. So for me, this is just right. And this cooked for about 3 hours, you guys, on a low temperature with the top slightly cracked. Now I'm going to go ahead and serve this up. And like I said, you guys, this is a fabulous all-purpose chili. You can use this on whatever you would like, be it hot dogs, fries, Fritos, nachos, whatever you want. It's just absolutely fabulous. And I'm going to top it off with some cheese and, of course, the sour cream and, of course, the jalapenos. The whole accoutrement, the whole thing, honey. Now, once again, to me, the spice level of this chili really is dependent upon how much you like. You can add in as much or as little red pepper flakes as you want. That's completely up to you. But you guys, I'm really happy that you guys have checked out this video today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I hope you guys try it out. And as always, y'all baby, stay cute and take care. Bye, guys. Enjoy. Have a great day.
Simply Food by TY.